Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days. Hi.
Episode 158. Here we are.
Is it?
Yep.
Sounds familiar. We didn't say that last week?
No, the notes confused me for a second because it said 157, but that's just because you hadn't archived it yet. But that's fine. We're on episode 158.
Oh, last week's. Just a moment.
Yeah, here we are.
Archived. There you go. Bump that along.
158th episode. That's exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
They've lost meaning.
Somebody asked
until the rep digits, they've lost meaning.
when we're giving away the car, and I was like, well, we haven't hit that number yet, but
That's right.
it's coming.
That's right. What Hot Wheel should it be, though? Should it be
The hottest of all wheels.
Well, should it be like one of those like monster Hot Wheels?
I think we should go with Micro Machines. Those are so fun.
Do you know how expensive those are?
Are
I
they?
still have mine from when I was a kid,
Yeah.
Micro Machines, and I can't get rid of them.
Huh.
I feel like I'd be just throwing away $100 bills,
Hmm.
wiping my butt with them and throwing them in garbage.
They were a lot of fun. Big shout out to our patrons and Jake for joining our Patreon crew this week. Thank you very much. And for everybody else who supports the podcast through Patreon. Patreon gets you access to After Dark, which is our podcast after the podcast of just more stuff and things. Tyler and I chit-chatting, good stuff. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you can't stand the first 2 minutes of our episode,
After Dark is for you.
you should try it out.
Check
Yeah,
it out.
That's right.
Big shout out, though. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the podcast. You're awesome. How was your week, Ty?
I had a good week. I had a normal week. It was busy. Is it crazy echoey for you?
I'll fix it. I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Yeah, it was a busy week. Like I didn't really do my normal evening things that I normally do. I didn't really get downtime. The days were really busy. We had a lot of different appointments, but there was also lots going on in terms of getting all the drywall finished in the house. So there was a lot of heavy moving and lifting around for me, which of course, concussion wise impacts me later in the day. So things like I have to move my massive oak desk around in the office because I can't take it apart. And so I'm moving it around. I mean, they do a very good job moving it on their own, but I don't want to be relatively apathetic, and I want to also show like, hey, please
I
take
got
care
muscles.
of this. No, not that. I don't care about that. But so anyway, there's still some heavy lifting that needs to move around, and our trades guy coming to finish up our downstairs is coming in on Sunday, which is kind of cool. But I have to move a whole bunch of stuff around in the garage because all of our downstairs is still in the garage, but now I need to make space there without putting it in downstairs so that they have space to cut everything up and make all that messes. Anyway, the point of that is that I'm too exhausted to have me time at the end of the day. And once the kids are in bed, I'm out like a light. So outside of racing with you guys on Monday, I really didn't do anything on my own. But yeah, it's been good because it's good for progress. But I am looking forward to the basement getting done, obviously for the sake of the basement getting done. But I'm looking forward to getting back to my old routine, like, mowing
Sure.
the lawn on the day that I like and getting certain chores. And, like, for example, bathroom day's Friday. You don't mess with bathroom day. It's always got to be Friday because you're going to have people over maybe on a Friday or Saturday night. And whether you do or don't, you can have surprise guests over because the bathroom's already done. You did it like the day before, the day of. It's good. You can't have bathroom day on Monday. Come on, right? Who's coming over
Animals.
on a Tuesday? Yeah, right. So anyway, I'm just looking forward to that normal schedule of getting the house taken care of done because it's looking a little bit like a zoo. My task list that I have has so many overdue things now that I have to scroll quite a long ways through the task list to actually get to today's events. But it's good. It's good. My daughter's homesick today. I was really hoping this would be the year where we get to Christmas break at school without any sick days.
That's impossible.
So Oliver's had one partial sick day. He was coughing, but it's that awkward coughing where you're not sure if he's going to cough in the middle of the day, only like at bedtime or just when he wakes up. But it was strong enough. I'm like, all right, buddy, all right, I'll keep you home. This was last week sometime. Kept him home in the morning, put on the TV, and the TV is my testing. That's my parent test. But I loved it when my mom would let me stay home from school, and she just like, you know what, just relax, rest and stuff. And so I got to watch Aladdin on repeat all day. I absolutely loved it. So, but that's my test because when a kid is zoning out and they're watching TV and they're not coughing, that's fine. Okay, so they're distracted. They'll be distracted with gym. They'll be distracted with math. They'll be distracted with whatever. They're not going to be coughing at school. But if the kid coughs while they're watching TV, they're too sick for school. That's your test. That's my threshold. That's my test. So Violet stayed home this morning and she coughed all the way through Ninjago nonstop and Storybots. So I'm like, nope, staying home. So she's upstairs. Which, though, this was even though my wife's and my anniversary. How long have you been married?
2008.
I got married before you.
Did you?
I thought you got married before.
2000.
No,
I was.
no. Oh no, no. We started smooching in 2006. We got married in 2009. Okay, yeah, you got married first. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so our anniversary was a week or two ago. Oh no, 3 days. Okay, 3 days ago.
Whatever.
And
when it comes out,
anyway,
almost a week. Sure.
We are going to go out for dinner this coming Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But if my daughter's sick, then I'm going to cancel babysitting and cancel the dinner, and we'll do it hopefully an available weekend before Christmas.
Sweet.
So yeah. Anyway, though it's been a good week. Good week. Looking forward to normal weeks, but this has been a great week. We're wearing, Justin, fall stuff in fall.
Yeah, for the first half of the day. Our weather is so weird. It's freezing in the morning, and then it's hot in the afternoon. It's very bizarre.
Smoking
Such
hot.
a
Like
weird
we're talking
October.
high 20s. We're talking like 28 degrees and just at 2:00. And
so
then,
weird.
But it's maybe 13 degrees in the morning.
Like dressing kids to school in layers so they can remove them as the day goes along. It's weird.
That's probably normal. We're just not used to it from the weather we've had the last 2 years.
It's almost always one or the other. Either you're going to be warm for the whole day or you're going to be cool for the whole day. It's not often like this.
How was your week?
My week was good. I am actually
we barely hung out.
Quite curious to see how hopefully Tyler's audio is good. He's in a box today because he's got his house being worked on. It looks good. I like the drywall. But it's
I did it myself.
He's in a box, so we'll see how it sounds. My week was fine. We hung out on Monday, which was fun, racing, and a lot of rain in those races, which was a little bit bizarre. But my week overall was really good actually. Yesterday was the last 2 days have been awesome. Today was bad. I'm a little late getting on here because I've had meetings all morning, but I did some changes to just how I deal with my days. I've been trying to figure out like how to get a balance between work and my just my mental health and keeping my head healthy. And so
never too late to start that choice.
No, so I actually started reading a new book because it's audiobook. I use some
Okay, I was going to ask, reading?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't know, and I would find time to read. Audiobooks are amazing to me because I'm in the car quite a bit, or even if I'm working, I can have them and listen to them. But yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, I wanted to find a book that was more focused around, finding ways to work smarter and work, better and blah, blah, blah. And one of the things that he said, because I said to Christina last week, I was like, there's something that happens to me every night. At the end of almost every single day, I have this, like, I'm not the type of person that stresses. I don't get worried about stuff. But every single evening, I would feel just like a little bit on edge. And this book, when he was talking about it, he was talking about people that tend to have the same type of work life that I have. And he said that a lot of people experience this thing called, what do you call it? Nervous energy or nervous anxious energy or something. And that was kind of what it is, like, where I can't shut my head off. So like we're watching a show, but in my head, I'm watching the show, but also thinking about like stuff that I've got to deal with or stuff that's ongoing or whatever. And anyway, but one of the things that I decided to do this week was I completely shifted my phone. So my phone now has nothing on the main screen except my calendar and WhatsApp, like just very specific messaging apps that I use quite often through the day. Everything else has been removed. All of my notifications now, unless it's an email or a text message, are gone. So I don't get them at all anymore. And it made yesterday awesome. The last 2 days have been really good. I find I can get to certain points of the day and I'm way more productive. So instead of me being pulled in a million different directions, I'm able to focus on something and then deal with the other stuff later. So,
all right, cool.
Yeah, it's been good. Kids are all good. School is going fine. We're taking off this weekend, going to the island. So that'll be fun. And
what's on the island again?
I have a lot of family over there. So we're going for a wedding. But yeah, it's overall, it's been a good week. Not much to complain about. Nothing special, really. Just another week. Good though.
Cool.
Hey, we have our private league starting. It started. So this,
I guess it started.
It started when this comes out, right? This comes out on Sunday at midnight, and our private league would have started. It starts on Friday, so the past Friday, if you're listening to this, it just started. So if you're not in it, join our Discord and you can join up because it runs for 10 days. You got plenty of time, lots of fun prizes and cool people to play with. It's accidentally starting at 2 a.m. our time on Friday.
which many people elsewhere
Yes,
absolutely
European
love.
and non-North American people are loving it because it's much better for their time zone. So you're welcome. Yeah, it was supposed to be at 2 p.m. our time, but GGG uses a 24-hour clock. I was drinking a little bit. There was not a warning, and 2 a.m. is the start time for our private league. So that's going to be fun. It's a Scion. It's a solo self-found hardcore in standard because GGG's silly. But we added a Scion only stipulation. So you can play whatever class you want, but only Scions can win the prizes. And it should be fun. There's quite a few people signed up. I was actually quite surprised that as many people joined
For
as
the
they
Scion only. Yeah.
did. So that should
I
be
love
fun.
that you think that there needs to be a warning for a 24-hour clock. That makes me giggle.
I don't understand. Why not put a drop down? Instead of making me type it, why not put a drop down to select the times?
Oh, there wasn't a drop
No,
down?
you
Wasn't a
type
scroll
it.
thing?
You just type a number. So that's why I'm saying it. That's why I felt like you should put a warning that it's a 24-hour clock, because it's not a drop down. I'm not selecting. If it was a drop down, then of course it's just me being an idiot.
That's what I thought it was. So this whole time I thought you were an idiot.
No, if it was a drop down, sure. Then I picked the 2 instead of the 14 like an idiot. But you have to type in the start time. So I just wasn't even thinking about it. So
now I think you're an idiot, but I also agree with you.
yeah, it was a mistake. And you know what? You're welcome, everyone else. It's I will not be starting it when it starts. Actually, I'll be a little bit late to the party. So good luck getting up high enough that you can maybe get in the second lottery. But I am actually pretty excited. I have no idea what I'm going to play. But it
Really?
no, I have not had time all this week to look at it. So I know I'm going to be a Scion.
Yeah.
That's about it. And not Minion. That's about all I
But
know.
why?
Because of you.
Minions are so rad.
No, I can't do it.
Zombies.
No.
That's where it's at.
No,
The pinnacle of the
I kind of
sport
want to.
right
I kind
there.
of want to get through the axe, and I don't think zombies are going to be the answer to that.
You'll see.
Yeah, I
Yes,
will
they
see.
are.
We'll see how many characters it takes you to get up there. But yeah, so I'm excited for the private league. It's going to be fun. If you're not in it, make sure you hop on our Discord. It's under announcements, and we put it there just because we don't want it open to everybody. It's just a community thing. So even if you don't like Discord, you can always hop on and join up. And then if you don't like Discord, disconnect or mute the channel. Do whatever you want. But that's where it is under announcements. It's going to be fun. And we'll add more slots as needed, which I feel like I'm going to have to by the end of today anyway. It's fun. What do we got this week in PoE?
Slow week, man.
We're
Slow
getting
week,
towards the
but
end
I
of a
still-
league, right? So that's kind of
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah. I got a feeling that we're starting our private league 6 weeks in, right? Because that
Yeah.
was kind of how we were complaining. That's how the complaint started. Okay, so
We're almost 7
6
weeks in.
which means right.
Yeah.
And you know what happens week 8?
What?
Next league chit
Teaser
chat starts
starts?
happening from GGG.
So it should be coming soon then.
Yeah, it is.
320.
So let's see, what do we have? We have the t-shirt competition stuff. Still some highlights from it, and wanted to shout out. So I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, but Scuffed,
Yeah. Okay.
maybe Scuffed. They had they're one of our followers, one of our listeners, and I loved their picture of their shirt because Scuffed is showing their absolutely gorgeous face and completely unfairly thick facial hair, which I wish I had.
Beautiful.
I know, it is absolutely sexy.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. I still can't decide to like have my facial hair longer or shorter. I've been doing this for like 20 years.
I don't
and
think you've
still
ever had
can't
it longer.
decide. It's not about if it looks good. It's about which option's less ugly.
Okay.
You know, like,
that's
do
what
I
the
have-
goal is.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, which one do people like not
Yeah. What's going to
stare
give
at
me
me
the
with a
least
screwed up-
nasty looks?
right? Exactly.
Totally. Makes
Exactly.
sense.
So that's kind of where I'm at. And if I had Scuff's facial hair, I wouldn't have to worry about that at all.
Mhm.
But also, fantastic shirt. It was Kalandra on her little like stone steeples.
I want to know
So,
if he actually made
for
the
sure.
shirt or if he photoshopped, because you can use Photoshop to actually put those curves in the shirt into the design. But it's cool one. It's a
It
cool
is
design.
pretty cool. The physical character of Kalandra is very cool. So,
Mhm.
and a lot of these images from not just Scuffs, but everyone else's, they don't actually. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't say Path of Exile,
Right. Which
which
I
is a lot of the element of marketing that
Although
you
it'll
quite
be
like. And
giant on the back. Like that's what they've done on a couple of the shirts that I have. Is it doesn't say
Sure.
Path of Exile anywhere except there's a giant Path of Exile logo like right at the top of the back.
Gotcha. And so, but the Kalandra figure itself, the character, would be quite cool to have on a shirt, walking by people that have no idea what Kalandra is. That's just, that character just makes people daydream and think and stuff. So it's pretty
Mhm.
neat. There was another one that made me think of you.
I saw it.
I can't stand the mechanic, but just in time.
I saw it and I was thinking, if I had that one, I would want them to actually put my name, like put the in and the just together, because that's what people always do. They're like, oh, just in time. But,
Mr. Time. And then the other one, which was a picture of like a cartoony character with an absolutely massive backpack. It was more like a chest backpack, but a massive backpack overflowing, and it was too much clutter.
Yeah, no, the shirt's
and then there was the pairing shirt where one had an arrow pointing, I'm with Carrie, and the other one was pointing to the other person saying, I'm with Orobot. I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah,
but anyway, there was a lot of cool stuff in the they're all very good, really cool. What else was there? Oh, community showcase stuff for art. That was always fun too. I like looking through those. Yeah, they do. People make me so mad. Did you see the build of the week this week?
I just watched it before we got started.
Did you?
Yeah,
okay,
and that's what I'm doing for the private league.
Isn't that cool? Like this. I mean, I know it looks like they're holding down two buttons, but how I love it. I love having like all those extremely specific items and mods that interact so cohesively together.
You don't hold down any buttons with those.
Mutilating. Well, I saw two. I haven't played it, of course, but I saw two buttons constantly being.
That's cast when damage. That's the loop. That's how the loop works.
Oh, that's the okay. Yeah. So it's just so.
Ashkay's Ward Loop Scion is the name of the build.
That's right.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'd never make a build like that just because that's not because I don't like it, but just I wouldn't really have the time to even consider
very specific items.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So. But I absolutely loved it. So yeah, like Justin said, Ashkay.
Very cool.
Love it.
That's what I'm doing for the private league.
Bravo. Bravo. Oh, did you read any of the Q&A from the audio team? I figured that
this one I read the whole thing. Yeah. Sometimes I don't read all their Q&As, but this one I read the whole thing.
And
I love this stuff. I love them talking about the audio stuff. It's probably slightly more on the like sound design type stuff versus the composing or the music or whatever. But I love hearing how they build it, what their process is like. It's really fun too to read about how the process is of the game in general. Like it starts at art and then it goes to modeling, and it's a sort of sound is the last thing. And I think it's I really enjoy any of this stuff regarding music and sound, and it's super fun. Like they were talking about the artifacts collected from the expedition chests, and so they had to talk to Michael C, who's a supporting composer for GGG, and they were asking him, how did you make it? And his answer is scraping leather, crunching gravel, dropping bottle caps, and then how they process those sounds. I just think it takes such a cool mind to be able to go like, I could do something with this, or how would this, I don't know. I find that very, very clever. It's a lot of fun.
Imagine being new to the company, right? Now, I don't know what the layout is outside of their building or anything, but let's say they got like a courtyard outside where people could take breaks and, smoke, do whatever it is they want. And let's say it's like you're working, you're on QA, you're doing whatever, and you're sitting near a window and you're brand new and you're like, what are those guys doing? Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, don't worry about them. The crazy people, they're just the audio people, right? Because they're going outside.
Like
they got like all these mics. And they're like,
and
that's right. They're like shaking trees. Yeah. They're dropping apples. They're and all these funny things. And then you hear them like they finally get this one sound.
High
then you see
all
outside.
These
they're like, yeah, we did that.
Yeah, these are all answered by Kane, who's the head audio lead. So. I really like him. I follow him on Twitter too, and see some of his posts. So this stuff I love. I love this, like any of the stuff audio and video or sound related is enticing to me. So yeah, I read this whole one. I'm waiting for part 2.
Yeah, me too. Or wouldn't that be great if it was like somebody you don't realize they're walking by you, and then they like poke you in a tickly spot just under your ribs, and you're like, "Dang!" And then they're like. All of a sudden you see they have a mic there. They're like, thank you. They walk away. I could just the leeway the audio team could get is fun. I love thinking about that when I hear a little
questions were great too. Like a lot of the questions were very, very good. So that's fun.
I wonder how many questions were like, it's your game.
Of course they were. Of course they were.
I want them to respond to one of those every Q&A.
We've talked about this a couple episodes ago when we were talking about sound and stuff, and I was chatting with Camille and his excitement for PoE 2. So, and they talk a little bit about PoE 2 and how much different it's going to be with the audio. So I'm very excited for what they've done so far and what they're going to continue to do. It's actually one I still don't turn the music and sound off. I know a lot of people do because they think it has an effect on gameplay. I haven't noticed it in a long time where it's been bad because of that. So I it's on all the time for me.
Yep. And it's nice. I like the vanilla experience in every game I play, but it's not discouraging in this one.
No.
There are some sound bugs in the game right now when it comes to like when there's like sound overload. Sometimes the game kind of cuts out and doesn't
I've had that
show
too.
anything for a bit. But for the most part, it is absolutely fantastic. And I do really like it. And the zombies, I want to know how they did the zombie sound. I should have asked. But speaking of the PoE 2 thing, let me read something here because I thought this was quite neat. So this is part of the quote. Other things we are doing regarding PoE 2 involve completely rebuilding all on-hit audio from scratch, custom sounds for currency drops and other items, unique sounds for equipping, moving, unequipping items, and much more complex custom real-time mixing systems for the entire game. There's a lot of other things going on as well, but that's coming later time. So I don't know, I thought that was neat.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Custom sounds. Like for me, I think one of the biggest misses or failures that GGG's done in regards to the sound with filter is in the game, they have the shaper's voice announcing certain, like there's an audio file in there where it's the shaper's voice announcing certain currency drops, but it's not in the default filter, which is brutal. And it's not announced anywhere on their filter page. But if you find a post from like 2016, there's a post that says, oh yeah, you can use like SH chaos or SH blessed, or I forget what the actual thing is. But then you get the shaper when a chaos orb drops going chaos orb or orb of, or no, they don't. Do they
orb
have
of fusing is one.
Anyway, yeah. So, but I really like that. And I really wish that they had that in the game, or at least in their filter section, they had it as one of the audio sound options. And as soon as they said custom sounds for currency, I'm assuming that's not what it's going to be, but I really hope that there's some sort of
I assume
option
the
to turn
sound, the
that
actual
on.
sound of it dropping. That's where my thinking is not necessarily the filter side of it,
yes,
but the actual.
Definitely. Yep. The clink.
Cool.
The clink. Yeah. One of my favorite questions wasn't actually sound specific at all, but you know how when you're watching a movie and you like the music, you know which name's going to show up? 99% of the time it's Hans Zimmer.
Right.
Like he was from The Rock, you know, he was Con Air, right? We're talking like nice, sweet 90s action films. And then all of a sudden his name started showing up on everything. Like Aaron and I laugh when he shows up for Kung Fu Panda, right? He's the main guy for there. It's like he's everywhere. So I love that there was a question that said, who's the Hans Zimmer of game sound design? Who are your professional heroes? And I like that somebody else notices that Hans Zimmer is omnipresent when it comes to the music industry.
I didn't know that people that they mentioned, they talked about Ben Burt for sound design in general, and then Matt Uleman, which I guess he was with Diablo 2. I didn't know who those two were, but it's cool.
And then there was a patch that came out, still doing stuff, still fixing
some
thingy
fixes.
things. Now it is 0.1D Delta. Wonder what the 0.2 is going to be.
I don't think there's going to be a 0.2.
You don't think so?
No.
You think it's done?
I do. Yeah. I think
I still want to know. That's going to be one of my most pressing questions. If I ever meet any of them and I have an opportunity to ask one question, why do you go from a letter to another?
What is it?
What's the threshold?
Yeah. It is a question that needs to be answered. It really is.
Probably more than any other
Pretty
question.
pressing. I can't think of anything I'd actually want to know more besides, like, do they eat lunch in or do they go out? I'd be curious about that. Are there cliques? Do you think there's cliques? There's probably cliques.
What are cliques?
Little groups.
Oh, people that like.
Yeah. Do they all intermingle, or is it like, no? You guys stay. You go sit at that table.
No cliques.
These are
everybody at
the
GGG
things.
likes everybody.
That's impossible.
So, just question for you.
Yeah.
How was your PoE week?
Same as last week. Non-existent. I was. Does it count that I was like focused on the private league? And hey, big shout out to Talon. Thank you for helping us with getting people accepted into the private league. I think.
Hopefully
I think I've done about half of them. Tyler's done about 4 of them.
7.
So thank you, Thalen, for helping us out. That was a big help.
For approving all of the
Approving people. Yeah, for some reason we couldn't get it to work this
Yeah.
time to automatically join.
Automatic, yeah.
Yeah. Weird. Anyway, that was my week. My week was, if it was PoE related, was our Discord. And because I do read it. I know people give me a hard time because I don't always respond, but I do read it. And if you tag me, I do try to respond. But that was my PoE week. Yeah, you got to do the @tags because then it actually shows me something versus trying to scroll through Tyler's responses, which takes me days.
Hey, whoa, okay, I have time. I make time once a day to check. Okay,
I appreciate that
shush
you do
your
it.
mush, but I only get it once a day, so I'm not gonna like space out my replies every 15 minutes. You get
it's quite often when you do them though, because you'll respond to something that maybe I was tagged in or wrote, and then I gotta go like, I don't know what he's talking about now, and then I gotta click the little thing to go up to find out, and then scroll back down to, yeah. Anyway, but I do appreciate that you do it. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Up yours.
Love you. How was your PoE
One-way
week?
street, buddy. One-way street.
I'm fine, Ty. It's
did
a one-way street of love.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to love me back. That's fine. Go ahead. How was your PoE week?
I did a lot of humming and hawing this
Okay.
week. Lots of humming and hawing. As I mentioned, because of the it's not labor for anyone else, but it is for me. It's absolutely exhausting because of the lifting and moving around that I had to do this week. I didn't really, and some extra driving.
Yeah, you speak about that. You know how you're talking about, like, sorry, here's my
do you think?
interruption, but you were talking about like your tough week. I was driving, oh man, I don't remember what day it was, Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember, but I was away. No, I think it was Tuesday because I was in a totally different city for most of the day, and I came back at the end of school. And Christina was there anyway to pick up the kids, but I saw you walking towards the school and I was kind of laughing in my car because you look like you had just gotten off a horse. Like the way you were walking looked like you had just rode a horse for like 8 hours and you were struggling.
What time of day was it?
What would have been at the end of school, so 2:30.
Okay.
You look like you were struggling to put one foot in front of the other.
There are days like that, yeah.
It was pretty funny. I had a good laugh.
Now,
Anyway,
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. Was that the time you honked, or was that
that was
giggle?
I honked and Christina whistled at you, and you just I was like, he must. I think it was Sunday. Oh no, I don't remember what day it was, but you were walking the dog early in the morning. We were heading out early, so it had to have been on the weekend. I don't remember, but yeah, you had your head kind of like down as your dog was doing the business, and I honked, and then Christina had her window down, so she whistled, and you didn't even budge. You didn't move at all, and I was like, he must have headphones in or something. Anyway, that was a different time.
Well, I always respond to Christina. Wink, wink. Nudge,
it didn't
nudge.
look like you did.
No, not that.
Oh, she's with her husband.
They're absolutely exhausting. But it's not like tough weeks like, I drowned in my flooded basement or my tree broke in a windstorm and impaled me. I'm just like, they're just, heavy lifting, really tired, but fatigue completely flattens me, unfortunately. And so didn't have the evening time to play, as I mentioned earlier on. But as I'm going through my days, obviously I'm always on PoE time. And so like I drive my wife to work this week so I can bring the car to the mechanic shop while the kids are at school. And so I'm at the mechanic shop and I'm dwelling on PoE Planner. I'm like trying to squeeze in Arctic Armor into my build. So I'm like checking all of my mana and stuff like that.
This is why you're getting your car worked on?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then, because we drive out and they're the kind of car people where it's like you could leave it there all day if you want, because almost everybody has a second vehicle that they're willing to work around with. So it's
do you go to the same place that I go to by where we used to live?
Yes.
Okay.
Yellow.
Yes, and I always hate it because I'm like,
love them.
Oh, I love them too, but I'm like, I leave my car with you at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I just have to wait till I get a phone call that it's ready. Oh. That is a real struggle for me, timeline.
They're actually really good with it. I tell them that, like, we're familiar. You know how they're awesome. They see you once and they'll remember your name for the rest of your life. They're fantastic. Still doing paper stuff too, right? They barely use a computer.
Old school,
but they, I just call them up and I'm like, hey, single car family. I just need to drop it off and pick it up. And they're good. Like it's a 30-minute turnaround, 40-minute turnaround.
Okay, so I got to say that then. Because normally I'm like,
they're going to know you're not a single car family, but you got to be like,
they know all my family and Christina's family. But I do often say like, can I get it back as soon as possible? But usually I'm also saying like, when's as soon as you can get it in? Because haven't really planned it out. And I'm so bad if they're like, well, you could drop it off Wednesday next week and it's Monday this week. I'm like, okay, well, I have no idea right now if that's going to work. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of the times, like if it's just tune-ups and stuff, it's easy to be more punctual.
It's usually just an oil change.
Yeah. So I'm at that spot, and then I walk down to Sev, grab myself a decaf, bring the dog with me because they're dog friendly. They let me sit in the waiting room with the dog, and so I bring the dog, go for the walk, come on back, and I'm trying to like squeeze Arctic armor into my build. How can I do this? Because I'm using dominating blow and I'm standing still, which, in today's game for slow players, not very smart. So like, okay, that 21% less physical damage reduction, that's pretty nice. But then the next day I'm getting my tires rotated. So we get the place where we buy our tires. They do free tire rotations for the life of the tire.
Yep.
And I always make that appointment a day or two after my mechanic appointment, because every now and then the mechanics will do a free tire swap for us. But not tire swap, sorry, but rotate our tires for us. So anyway, didn't do it. I never expect them to, of course. So the next day I'm at the tire rotation place. See how I spelt tire, by the way?
F1 style.
Yeah, Tyre. Gotta love it. Anyway,
nerd.
I changed it on purpose just in case you were going to read my notes. So anyway, I'm at the tire rotation shop, hoping they're going to take. I'm actually hoping they take forever because I have more stuff that I need to figure out in PoE Planner, and I know that as soon as I leave, I'm like, my day keeps going. I can't do this when I'm driving. I can't do this when I'm vacuuming. Like, I got going. So I'm hoping they take forever. They were only like 20 minutes. Unfortunately, they were really good. But I'm like checking to see. All right, well, should I actually be using the Guardian for this? Should I go back to Necro? Should I go with the Scion? Could I get Raider to work if I went Elemental with my zombies? That was like my Ascendancy time, trying to figure that out. And then, I'm grocery shopping. I'll pull over to the side of the aisle to update my shopping list. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I've been in like PoE Planner for 5 minutes, and I'm trying to like add elemental damage to my Guardian zombie build. And it's just fun. Like I had a really good week with it. No,
I thought I saw you stream at one point. I thought I saw a notification that you were something about a Guardian or something.
So it is Thursday today. Normally we record on Fridays, but because of life, we're having to record a day early. So I might have played shortly after our last recording, on Saturday or Sunday, but that was so long ago I barely remember it. But yeah, I'm really trying to get this Guardian build to work.
You played 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah. I really want this Guardian build to work is the name of your stream.
Well, I'm sure I had a fantastic time.
It was probably great. Anyway.
How long did I play for?
I don't know. It doesn't show that. I'm just looking on our Discord where it shows all the people who are streaming.
Okay. So so it's been really good, but I really want this zombie build to work, but I'm no longer married to the idea that I can't be Necro. Like I was really excited at the beginning of this league when unnatural strength was removed to not be Necro. Now we had some funny comments regarding us at the beginning of the league because everybody was just, you killed minions because unnatural strength no longer gives +2. And both of us loved the idea of a permanent unholy might.
Sure.
That just seems so strong. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, I was still very excited to try other Ascendancies. And funny enough, now I actually feel handcuffed to go back to the Necromancer only because there's so much minion life in the Necro tree. There's so much extra increased minion life, but also 20% more minion life. And then the fact that there's that easy bleed removal for minions with bone armor, which I've now found out 2 months later that it's kind of a handicap for all of the other Ascendancies to use, right? Or to not have, is something that can get rid of bleed on your minions. So now all of a sudden I'm looking at the Necromancer and I'm like, oh, you're looking good. All right, baby girl. And so I'm going back to there where I was super excited and stoked to make the Guardian work. So now I'm kind of at that stage of this theory crafting. And yes, it's taken me 6 weeks to to try and figure it out, but I'm nowhere close to figuring out what I want to do because now I'm back at the stage was, well, which Ascendancy should I use? Nicely enough, the tree doesn't change. I mean, maybe the starting point, but that's it. But whether I go Scion, Guardian, there really aren't very many others. Like you do want, especially for minions, you need some survivability. You can't have just offense out there. So the Necro is a lot more defensive. And if you get, Commander of Darkness, you know how I've been talking about resist issues with minions. So I checked it out. And in Path of Building, minions have, I think it's in the 40s. I forget if it's like 42 or 47, something like that. But minions have 47% natural resists.
Okay. Like just built in.
So, right. Now, that's nowhere in the game. There's nowhere for you to know that. It's not, you can't even find that on the wiki. That's on like a 2018, 2017 Reddit post
so
somewhere.
they're capped then with Commander of Darkness when you combine those two?
But well, kind of. So you have 47%, but the only reason that I know, I forget which 40 it is, 43, 45, 47, whatever it is. I'm going to say 47. Wherever that information comes from. Hey ho.
Yeah, good.
What's up? Yeah, no, I saw somebody through the blinds. My office is, of course, downstairs, and so there's like this small little window that peeps out onto the front stairs up to my house, and saw somebody walking up to the stairs, and I didn't hear a doorbell, and I'm like, "What are you doing, you snake in the grass? You cut this business out." So I went up to go see what they were doing. I want to make sure my daughter wasn't answering the door. She gets very excited to answer the door and knows to ask and does very well, but you know, a parent, you want to make sure that this isn't the one time that they're being absent-minded. It's the time you're not paying attention. So went up to make sure she wasn't answering the door, and the person walked up the stairs was already in my house. It was my wife.
Your wife? Okay, I was like...
Erin came home early from work. Feeling poopy. Not literally.
That sucks.
I wouldn't, if she was feeling poopy, literally, I wouldn't be saying it. But
yeah.
So anyway, what was I talking about?
You were talking about you don't know where the number comes from. For that 47,
right,
but anyway.
Look at you. Oh man, look at. So I don't know where the number comes from, but Path of Building has, I'm going to say the 47% minion resists on minions. So that's really nice because you only have to get up. Let's make it 45 just to make it nice and even. You only need 30% resists, and then your minions are capped.
Sure.
Well, and then you're going to add the extra 8% that you can get from a mastery, and so then it gets there. So you're looking at 38% total. Okay. So, but there are some resists still available on the tree, despite the fact that they got rid of them. A lot of resists, they got rid of more minion survivability and changed some of the strong notables for the sake of requiring investment on your items. Okay, sure. But there's still some resists on the tree. And if you're looking at any minion survivability, you're going to naturally pick those. Sure, for the resist, but also those are notables that give you other benefits as well that you're already aiming for. So Commander of Darkness, even if you're getting your minions to 83% elemental resist with that mastery, getting Commander of Darkness caps them no matter what. Even having elemental darkness or elemental army as a node, if you were doing elemental minions, would do that too. So that was kind of neat. But so then all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, like now I'm back to like, I have to be necro. You know what I mean? Because they have all that extra life. They have like,
there.
I think it was 60% increased life. That number might be wrong. And then 20% more life in the same one that has bone armor. And then on the far left, there's the Commander of Darkness with the resist. And I'm like, that's so easy. And there's so much damage there too.
There's nothing wrong with feeling like you need to go with an Ascendancy for a specific skill.
No, there is a game that people in our Discord were talking about that's just come out or coming out. They have a demo, and it's an ARPG that's all about no classes and all customization. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, we've had that conversation before. I think we had it with Tarky on the first or second time he was on, where Ascendancies do provide you that handcuff of like, and no matter how generic you try and make your Ascendancies, there's pros and cons to each based on the skill that you're doing. There's just no way to get around that. And I don't mind that. I don't think that's a negative part of the game, but of course there's negative consequences to it. That handcuffs a tiny bit of freedom, but it provides you way more freedom to do something that wouldn't have previously existed in the game if you didn't do classes and Ascendancies. Right. So, but I am kind of back at that. I actually really should be, because I'm looking at minions, I really need to be the Necromancer.
So it's time to re-roll?
Oh, I don't know. Because I'm still running a lot of auras, but with Commander of Darkness, they give you a certain amount of attack speed per aura that you're running from your skills. And so I'm getting to about 15, 18% increased attack speed, which to me is relatively important because I'm doing Dominating Blow, and I don't like multi-strike because it makes me stuck too much when I want to move right away. So even though multi-strike's really beneficial for getting your cap of Dominating Blow Sentinels out while you're fighting a rare, or sorry, just a unique, I don't use it. So attack speed's that much more important. So I'm at 15, maybe 18% increased attack speed with the Necro, whereas I have the guaranteed onslaught at 20% with the Guardian. And then that's that nice movement speed, which had survivability there. But the Guardian has like I'm easily capped without any gear at physical damage mitigation. So easy. If I remove determination, I'm still at 75%. So determination is only giving me an extra 15%. Like everything else is about actual physical damage mitigation. And so that's really, really nice. Whereas I'm barely squeaking over 70% with determination when I'm for physical damage mitigation when I'm the Necro. So what do I pick, right? Zombie survivability or my survivability? You know what the answer is?
Both.
Right. That's exactly it. But who has time for that? Not this guy. So my Guardian is level 81 on console. And I mean, my Necro has been 91 for, I think, the past six years. I'm never getting out of 91. It's never going to happen. I should start making my trees for around level 80 just because.
What do you make them for right now?
91. 91's easy. Like getting from 90 to 91 is easy for me in terms of like death and how the damage and game works and all that kind of stuff. But I also, with these new characters, I still don't put the time in because I have so many ideas. I keep swapping my character that I'm playing. Like sometimes I'm in the mood for like a established character. So I'll play my Bone Zombies Necro build that I've had for years, or I'm in the mood for Righteous Fire today. I'm like, I'm really in the mood to see if Vortex will work with the Raider, but I know that one's only level 70 right now. It's all crap gear because it was like a respec from another character that made absolutely no sense for this character. And then I'll be like, oh no, I got to get the Guardian one going. And like, I'm always in the mood for something different. So the chances of me getting another character from 90 to 91 are, as the fancy French say, impossible.
And you're still going zombies with the Scion for the private league?
Yeah, obviously. I didn't know there were other skills.
So Necro and what though?
Probably Guardian because there's some benefit to allies there. But I might go Raider. I might go Raider just for me because it's hardcore. So maybe I shouldn't care about my minions at all. Do the survivability on the tree, get to whatever level that the tree allows me to do, but make my Ascendancies all about me.
And level with what?
Zombies. Obviously.
In hardcore, you're going to be so crappy.
Well, Summon Phantasm's good for the... Summon Phantasm's good for the...
yeah, it's decent.
The range stuff, and it's not bad. And I have SRS too. I know my minions, like I've said it 100,000 times, the zombie survivability sucks until they're around level 10.
Can you get the SRS damage from the Scion early on?
No, Scion, you can't do anything early on.
Yeah.
But that's a problem everybody has. That's not a different thing. But I never level expected. The only build that I've ever kind of depended on ascending to level and finish the campaign was my Righteous Fire with the Chieftain. There's 2 nodes in there, 1 endurance charges for regen, and then the extra 100% fire resist. Those are just fantastic for actually running Righteous Fire during the campaign. So without items, remember I'm always a without items player. So, but yeah, no, everything will be fine even if I don't ascend until after the campaign. It'll be good. It's kind of probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, just go until I'm finding the campaign a little bit risque, and then go back and do the last 2 Ascendancies.
Yeah, I don't see.
Then I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Traps are so weird though. You know, like they scale. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what level you are. That saw trap hates you, and it's going to take that same percentage of life no matter what.
Yeah, don't run with it.
Yeah, with zombies, that's an easy one to do. So
I don't think I've ever had when I played minions, I don't feel like they've ever died to traps. I feel like they're like immune to trap. I hate the noise because I think it's on me. But I don't feel like they've ever actually died to traps. I feel like traps do way less damage to minions.
That might be a thing, and I wouldn't be disappointed with that. It would be quite dumb because they have 0 intelligence.
Idiots.
They're not trying to avoid it, so that would be nice. Yeah, but you probably haven't played with minions since this league, right?
Not
when they changed
league.
survivability. No. So I don't really remember what it's like either, because most of my minion experience is on standard, where I'm not going through those traps again because I hate everything to do with the trials.
But you're gonna have to do them again though.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think leveling will be fine. But I haven't decided on which ascendancy choices to do yet. But I do have a scion already made in there that I'm probably going to switch up a bit.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But that's it. Private League starting 2 days from our recording, a day and a half from our recording.
No, it starts in 14 hours from our recording.
It's Thursday. Oh, when you normally right. Half a day. Good.
Couple
And
hours.
if my daughter's sick, I might be able to join everybody at the beginning of the league.
Yeah, you might be able to get ahead of me too.
That's right. What was it? Professor Butts, I believe, that was all excited about their location being able to get all the yellow text because of the start time.
Lucky Butts.
So
lucky buggers. That's fine. We'll catch up. Well, I will. I won't be playing till Sunday evening our time. Oh no, Sunday, maybe later afternoon. We'll have to see. But yeah, the day that this comes out, I'm hopefully going to be able to play later on that day.
Funny.
Start catching up. I just got to figure out a build.
Yeah, you do. And just do ground slam or zombies.
No. One thing.
Or vortex. Do vortex.
I've done vortex. I don't want to do vortex.
Well, do it without frostbolt.
We'll see.
Way easier. Now, one thing that I would love to see that isn't ready to go, but one thing that I would love to have for Path of Exile too. Oh, you know what would be fun? Speaking of sound designs, I'll interrupt myself here. As if like for Path of Exile 2, when zombies are going over traps, goodness, please get rid of trials for PoE 2. But if for some reason they're kept, that'd be cool if they had like different sounds for the minions getting in traps instead of people. So it wasn't the saw sound,
but I want it to be something super cheesy, like ow, 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 ow,
ow, ow, ow, ow. Yeah, it's sharp.
Something silly.
But I would love to be able to modify my AFK response.
Can you not?
Not
if you
that
type /AFK and then a message, will it not do that? No. I thought it did.
Don't know. I didn't see anything in the game that could say that. Is that a thing?
For some reason, I thought you could do that.
Chats.
Maybe you can't. I thought for some reason you can just type like /AFK or /DND and then a message, but maybe you can't. Maybe it's just
I'm going to try it because that would be awesome if you could. I could definitely see why they don't, because there's a lot of douchebags out there that would be extremely inappropriate with that AFK message. But
maybe you can't with AFK. I feel like maybe not. I don't know. Not sure.
Because I know
what would you change it to?
Oh, I don't know. Something embarrassingly polite, because I'm going to get distracted.
I'm very sorry that I'm AFK at this moment, but I would love to respond to your message.
Please leave me a message.
Message me again in about 5 minutes, and I promise I'll respond.
Never promise, Justin. Never promise.
But you would.
But no, I wouldn't. Promising silly.
You'd probably have the word sorry in there about 5 times.
I'll have to try it out. And yes, I probably would.
I'm very sorry that I'm away from my keyboard.
For things that are obviously more important than the game. Please forgive me. Anyway, I'm going to try it out. Would you say just a space after AFK?
I think so. But that's what I would guess, but maybe you can't.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, hopefully it's in the game. If it's not, it needs it, because I want one, because I'm going to get distracted lots, and it's always fun to play with people that listen to the show, and it sucks to like type something or ask a question or whatever it is, and then I need to get pulled away, so I'm /AFK. Oh no, wait, but that doesn't work in global chats, does it?
No.
You can't AFK in global chat. Okay, so then it doesn't matter. It's a pointless suggestion for me, but they should still do it. But it's a pointless suggestion.
You know how annoying that would be if it was for global? Like anyone that was within that global chat, an AFK message would show up.
Yeah, no, that would be annoying. All right. I got to take off, but one question, because we were talking about how now we're almost at like the 8-week mark, I think, for the league coming out, 7 or 8 weeks, whatever it is. So we're going to start talking about PoE 3.2. 3.2. Oh, no, 3.20.
3.20, sure.
Right? Remember when Path of Exile, ExileCon was out, and they were like, it's not going to be 310. Like they were like, it was in the 3 point somethings, and they were like, and just in case you're getting creative and thinky, no. When it gets to 3.9, we're going 3.10, 3.11. Like we'll get there, but you're not a sneaky snake for thinking it's going to be 3.10. Anyway, what's something that you think would make the core game better for next league? Like 3.20. What do you think something that would be a nice improvement to see come in for next league as opposed to something to be delayed?
Well, I can't think of anything that's in the sense of like something new, but what I would love to see is some sort of balance towards Arch Nemesis, where we've talked about this before, where there was a plus or minus to them. Sorry, there was some balance to them that if this rolls, this can't roll, and there can't be certain combinations. And I think we talked about it before, like maybe if an offensive rolls, then a defensive has to roll. I can't think of anything core wise that would be something new or whatever, but I would just like to see some sort of balance towards the problem. And we talked about this. Arch Nemesis is awful early on, and then it becomes negligible way later. And that's a weird balance that I don't feel like that's what they want it to be, because when you eventually get a build to a point where you feel quite strong, the Arch Nemesis doesn't matter as much as it does for 3/4 of your experience. 3/4 of the experience, it's very tough, sometimes not fun at all. And then you get to a point in that last quarter, or maybe of your build, or when you've actually built up a lot of power, where now that's not a thing anymore. It doesn't really matter. So
isn't that a good thing though? Like, isn't that the point of pinnacle gear?
Well, I do think that you're right in that part on the end, but that 3/4 of that process, I don't want it to feel like a job. I don't want it to feel like I want it to feel like there is a balance towards how these modifiers are going to roll, not like, hey, you just hit an RNG shit and now you got to deal with it.
I thought you were criticizing the easy 25%, not the tedious 75%.
No, I eventually would love to get to a point where I feel strong. But yeah, it's more that 3/4, and that's obviously just a random number I'm using, but I'm just saying something that makes the Arch Nemesis a little bit more balanced. I think that would be fun, and maybe not include it in everything. I don't know that it necessarily needs to be in essences and extra stuff that already has its own stuff.
Essences already double the lack of information. Like, you have your Arch Nemesis modifiers that you don't know what they mean, but then you have the Essence modifiers that you don't know what they mean. And then you click it and you treat it exactly like a strongbox. You run away and then you come back after it's done its initial little.
Yeah.
Can you get that
in
there?
What do you think? I'll try and keep that in there.
Awesome.
What do you think you'd like to see in 3.2?
Well, without sounding like a broken record, I think with Path of Exile 2 coming out, and obviously we don't know how PoE 2 is being made and all the different changes, but it would be nice to start seeing more in-game support. And this came again to me under the microscope when needing to micromanage your minion survivability became something they wanted us to do, but didn't give us any information as to what our current results are with that information. So, with minion resists, they don't have a way for us to check our minion resists in the game. We don't know what their base resists are, so we don't know how many more resists we need. And there's not even something that shows you the cap. You have to remember, and sure, that's one thing you could do, but there really wasn't anything for that. But then, you go back to, that's the exact same mentality as adding something like your Animate Guardian without its own little HUD that you can equip things on, that you can actually see stats on. Sure, some people use very specific uniques, and they always do that same thing. But then there's other people that are like, okay, well, like, there's other equipment you want on it that are just to benefit the character itself. They're not specific. So it's like movement, speed, or life, or armor, whatever it would be. And so, it's the same mentality going all the way back to the 1 point whatevers for Animate Guardian and to this. It would be nice to start seeing some in-game support, menus, whatever it is, to accommodate these new features. And it's kind of, even if they say like, hey, listen, we're adding a bunch of these new menu systems for people that are using these skills or mechanics, give us some feedback. Let us know what we can change. We'd like to make them tickety-boo before, and they would probably use that term, before PoE 2 comes out.
I like it. I think it's more a PoE 2 thing than a league change. Like, I do agree with you. I think it'd be great to have it, but I think that's stuff that would come out with a PoE 2 versus like a league release or whatever.
Maybe. I mean, they do lots of core changes along with
league, but I can't think of too much like that's happened with a league release.
No, but I'm hoping that's what I would like, because I think that kind of stuff is important to get feedback on before your big announcement comes out. I mean, not your big announcement, but before your big game. Like, if you would have those types of menus completely nailed down, if you already have your 6 years of experience in dealing with what people want with them. But if you have none of that before, right? So anyway, that's what I'm hoping for.
That'll be fun to see. I guess we'll be within the next few weeks now. We'll get some announcements, some teasers for it.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Sweet. All right, we'll wrap this up. We'll have some more chatter in After Dark, episode 158, Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
Tyler, Record of Days.
Patrons will catch you in After Dark. Everybody else will see you next week in 159. If you're looking for more information, you can find it down below. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We're on Twitter, foreverexiled82. We have a Discord, which is a ton of fun you should be a part of. And if you want to play in the private league, you got to hop in there and find the info in announcements. And Patreon and other ways to support the podcast, you'll find it down below. See you later. Good luck in the private league.
Ooh, yeah, die lots. Lots.